What is going on, guys? It's Rob from Heroes Avenue. I haven't seen you in a week, and I apologize for that. I hope you guys are all having a great Friday so far. We have some awesome things to talk about today. Some groovy topics, if you know what I'm talking about already. You know we're going to be talking about Quentin Tarantino and his thoughts on the SnyderCut fans, and we're going to be talking about that last, though. First, we're going to be talking about the Suicide Squad, an update in regards to that movie, and also a controversy in regards to James Gunn, David Ayer, and the issue of creative freedom, because I think some fans are not understanding exactly what they want from Warner Brothers. And I have some thoughts on that. I've responded on Twitter, and it was kind of crazy being on social media. I almost had to get off because it was so insane, the tweets that I was seeing and the takes that I was seeing from people. But anyways, before we get into that, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel. It really does help us stay motivated to keep making these videos. Again, Darren and I both have day jobs, super busy, but we do love interacting with you guys. So please do hit that like button and comment down below what you guys think. But yeah, with that being said, before we get into the first topic, I just wanted to go ahead and comment on these Shazam images that came out because I didn't get to talk about those earlier this week, and you can see them right here. Shazam in his new suit, which looks awesome. Zachary Levi looking like he's fitting that suit a lot better. Definitely looking like he aged up a little bit in this movie, but that doesn't bother me to the slightest, or in the slightest. There's him, and you can see he's in an action set piece right here. David F. Sandberg has been on Twitter talking about how he would be done filming right now if this was any other movie but Shazam, but this movie is taking so long. I think they're into a month of filming already, and you can see more suits right here. He's doing some Kamehameha wave towards the camera, and yeah, I'm excited for this movie. You guys know me. I love the first Shazam movie, and I think it's highly underrated and really something that gets a lot of crap from fans of the DCEU under Zack Snyder, of course, and I can understand that, but I don't understand the hate that the movie gets, to be honest. So yeah, that's just my thoughts on the Shazam images that I didn't get to talk about earlier this week. But let's get to topic number one. Official has to do with the Suicide Squad, and James Gunn went onto Twitter to announce the Suicide Squad release date. Here we go. So it says, for those of you who can't wait, the Suicide Squad, hashtag the Suicide Squad, is coming for you a day early in the U.S. See it on the evening of Thursday, August 5th, which also happens to be my birthday. And you know why I'm excited is not only because we get another DC movie soon. I'm really intrigued by seeing this movie. The trailers, you guys know my opinions on the trailers. I've been getting a little bit less excited each trailer that comes out, but I still am hopeful for the movie because I don't think it's going to be filled with jokes that don't land. Maybe those were into the trailer, but I think the movie itself should be good. Early indications and buzz around the movie say it's going to be really good. But here's a poster right here. It gives you that Western feel with the text right there, and I love how all the squad members are on top of Amanda Waller's face. I'm excited for this movie. I'm excited again because I'm a big DC fan. James Gunn's previous movies, I've only seen like the Guardians movies, and there was one other movie I saw, I can't remember, but I do enjoy his work. So I'm excited because he's such a big fan of the Suicide Squad. If you've seen him and follow him on Twitter, he talks so passionately about the John Ostrander run of the Suicide Squad and the recent New 52 run, and how he's so in love with those runs of the comic that, hey, we got a real comic book fan on the director's seat, and I'm excited to see his vision play out. But going into topic number two, we have some controversy in regards to what James Gunn had said to the previous Suicide Squad director, David Ayer. And for me, I have to say this off the bat, I don't think there was anything controversial about this. I actually thought this was it was a very great thing to see, one director reaching out to the other. But if you, just a little context before we get into his tweet, James Gunn has been very transparent with how Warner Brothers has treated him on all of his creative decisions, right? And WB has a history of messing with studios' with a director's creative vision. Zack Snyder's Justice League, David Ayer, one of the most recent things, and of course, there's the issue of mistreatment of African American and even Asian American and other minority actors on their sets. Most recently, Ice Cube and Ray Fisher. Ice Cube is voicing his displeasure with Warner Brothers, and he wants the rights to Friday back. Ray Fisher even responded to him. I don't have that loaded up for you here, but yeah, there's that. Warner Brothers has a reputation with that, but let's look at what James Gunn recently said about Warner Brothers and what David Ayer said in response and what James Gunn said in response. So first tweet says, when I first met with WB Pictures and DC Comics about hashtag Suicide Squad, I said it would need to be an R-rated war film with no holds barred. I'm always upfront with partners about what I want to do. They agreed once the rules were set and we were off and running. I love this movie. David Ayer, of course, being treated, where he played the good role of the good soldier, and he said that was his movie when it came out, but really we know he does have his own version of the Suicide Squad, or his Suicide Squad movie, that is, he says, way superior and feels like the Comic-Con trailer. Gives you those vibes, and that is the tone of the movie. What we got in the theater was totally different, felt like a movie trailer. But there's a lot of history in regards to that. Anyways, David Ayer retweets this and just says, dang. And it hurts. It kind of hurts, especially if you're a fan of the DCEU and you can, if you've been following this the whole time, you know David Ayer, seeing all this, he must feel like crap, like dang, he gets the star treatment. Is it because he's from the MCU or is it because, what is the issue? Like, what is the issue? James Gunn, to his credit, says this to him. Although a lot of major players at Warner Brothers were different people, there was no doubt their troubles with you helped to pave an easier path for me, David. So I'm very grateful for that and for everything else you did to help this movie along its path. Now, I saw this and I was like, wow, James Gunn, good on you, man. Good on you for acknowledging this, reaching out to David Ayer and just thanking him for what he's done to pave the way. Because like all things in life, the struggles of the people before us paved the way for us to be where we're at now. So I looked at that and I was like, wow, great response. I love it. But a lot of people on Twitter, and I'm not going to show them here. I don't want to call people out directly. I'm not trying to start any fights. But I was a little upset when people were literally, trashing James Gunn, calling back to, calling him disgusting and everything. We all know James Gunn has a history with bad tweets, and really not just bad tweets. That's an understatement. Disgusting tweets, things he's said. He's apologized for since then, acknowledged it. It's not like there's any indication. No one's accused him of actually doing those things. He himself acknowledged that, hey, I just had a dark sense of humor and it was not funny, and he apologized for it. So that's, for me, I allow people to grow. I want people to change their minds and acknowledge the bad things they did. So that's just me. Maybe some people will hold grudges forever for the rest of their lives and never let you grow as a person. But that's not me. So I forgave him for that. Anyways, a lot of people were bringing all that up, calling him disgusting, getting so pissed off at James Gunn for saying this. And they took this in the most cynical ways possible, just saying, hey, thank you for the trouble that you had to go through. Like, literally thinking and interpreting this in the worst way possible, thinking that James Gunn is grateful that David Ayer was treated like that. I didn't read it that way, and I don't think anyone should read it that way, and I think anyone reading this with a clear mind and without an agenda would read it that way. That's me, though. That's just me. And then, so a lot of people were totally trashing him about that, and basically, David Ayer responded, oh man, thank you. You're good people, James. Godspeed. James Gunn replies with the heart. And that's how I like to see people interact, and I like to see directors supporting each other, especially fellow DCEU directors, and hopefully David Ayer gets to get his cut released in the future at some point. Hashtag release the Ayer cut. But I'm also glad that James Gunn is getting his creative freedom, because it's like, what do you guys want? Zack Snyder didn't get treated properly, David Ayer didn't get treated properly, and they've made it really clear that they were hampered in the creative process, and that directors should, and we have been fighting for Zack Snyder's creative vision to be released, as we are doing for pretty much David Ayer now, and we can't be hypocrites. If the studio saw those things, of course they're not going to acknowledge it, but if they saw those things, changed their behavior, at least right now, or for this movie, and they're letting James Gunn do his thing, why is it James Gunn's fault that he's getting creative freedom? We should be happy he's getting that, right? Because maybe the studio is hearing this stuff. Of course, they're not going to want to acknowledge that they did something wrong, but they're changing their ways behind the scenes to let this director have his creative vision. So what is wrong with that? What is so wrong with that? I will never understand it, but fans are so irritated that he's getting to do whatever he wants. But that's what we've been fighting for. Don't you get it? It doesn't make sense to me. The fan outrage, I get, but to be outraged at James Gunn, no. You should be outraged at Warner Brothers and continuously fighting for Warner Brothers to release and make it right, David Ayer's cut, as we did with Zack Snyder. And also restore the Snyderverse. Come on, while you're at it. But anyways, let me know what you guys thought about those things. Let me know, did you agree with me, or did you look at that and think that was an appropriate response? Let me know in the comments down below. But let's get to the third topic. Let's end this video on a good note. So we have our man Quentin Tarantino, who was on, who's been doing the rounds. He's recently on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he's on, is this the Real Blend, like cinema? Is it a podcast? But anyways, he was asked about the Snyder Cut. Let's take a listen. So boom, here we go. 22 seconds.
Well, I haven't seen it because I don't have HBO Max, but that's something I would like to see. I never saw I never saw when it was at the theaters, but I'd be kind of curious to see like his 4-hour, his original vision on that. No, I actually thought that was really groovy, and I actually thought the fans were really groovy. That the fact that they kept persisting on it and everything. What?
There you have it. There you have it. So the interviewers were basically saying, "Hey, what did you think about Zack Snyder's 4-hour cut?" And he says he hasn't seen it, but he thinks fans are groovy because they had to fight for it. And it seems like the interviewer really knew what he was talking about in regards to the movement. So yeah, Quentin Tarantino thinks the fans are really groovy for fighting for a director's vision. And Quentin Tarantino later goes on to joke that he always gets what he wants. So to see these directors treated a little bit unfairly, we like to see things righted, and I'm glad Tarantino is even addressing it and even bringing more attention to it, because I'm sure a lot of people, I still get people messaging me on my personal Instagram, family members. The other day I posted a clip from Zack Snyder's Justice League and was like, this is my 23rd watch or something like that, and I have cousins who see my stories every day, and they're like, hey, what movie is this? Because I had posted a different clip from the movie. It was the history lesson scene, and it was unseen footage. Like, what movie is this? I was like, dude, this is Zack Snyder's Justice League, 4-hour cut, his vision, you need to watch it. And he's like, so I'm still getting messages from people who don't know what it is. And the fact that someone as big as Quentin Tarantino is talking about this is only going to bring more attention to it, so I love it. Fans, we are groovy in Quentin Tarantino's eyes. Yeah, so that's all the topics for today. Let me know what you guys think, guys. I hope you all had a great 4th of July, and I hope you all had a great week. Let me know what you think about all these topics. Thank you for liking, subscribing. I will catch you guys later. Peace.